Hi everyone, it's Paul the Sound Guy Spicer from the LMP Event Forum. This week we're not doing a Member of the Week video. Just like 2 weeks ago when we did the very special interview with Neil from Ultimate Coldplay about the test gigs, we thought we'd have something a bit more pressing that we want to talk about. So I'd like to introduce Chrissy and Richard from CM Event Recruitment. Hi there, how you doing?
Hi.
Hello.
So the reason I've asked them to come and talk to us was basically that for what they wanted to do. They were trying to get a message out there about the events industry and try and do some good work for us. And there was a certain news article that went live a week last Sunday, which frankly didn't do them justice. Now, we are going to come on to that and we're going to set the record straight because we feel that they basically got done over by the Times newspaper. But to get a feel for the members of what you do, tell us about your business and what you do.
Business,
Wow.
we do so much, don't we?
Yeah.
We actually staff events. It can be an event such as one person, a private garden party. It can be 50 or 60 staff up at a sporting event. We work with Ferrari. We do a lot of work with Ferrari. Kosher catering companies. We supply various different hotels. It can be bar staff, waiting on staff, kitchen porters. Sometimes they'll ask us for chefs, managers, supervisors, literally the whole of the staff to make the event run. We're sort of, like a lot of people in the event suppliers, we're sort of in the background, making sure that we're matching the right staff to the right event. And we can have sort of 7 or 8 events all in one day. So the logistics are mental.
Lots of fun though.
Lots of fun. So you know, we interview all the staff, we skill test all the staff, so that we're not just saying, "Oh, he said he can work behind a bar, off you go." You know, we actually face-to-face interview to get the personalities, so that the personalities match the event, their experience matches the event. Very, very thorough. We even had staff at our own wedding, didn't we?
We did.
We had our own staff at our own wedding. So, you know, very, very sort of personal touch, very hands-on. We have a 7-seater car so that we're not relying on staff. If we've got a great member of staff and they can't drive, we don't think, well, we won't send them. We'll actually take them ourselves and pick them up ourselves. So you're getting the right people and not just the people that can drive. We cover all of Yorkshire, we've covered Cheshire, we've covered Merseyside. It's mostly Yorkshire, but that's, in a nutshell, that's stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how long have you been going?
I've actually been in the events industry now for about 6 years. CM Event Recruitment's been going for 2 years, and Richie started in November, didn't you?
I did. I came into the business in
November. In recruitment in general, recruitment, I've been in it for 18 years in total, but in the event side about 6 years.
Right. So is that what got you into the industry to start with?
Yeah, definitely. I used to do sort of your office-based recruitment for a long time, and I met somebody at a networking event who asked me to help with Aintree Racecourse, and I'd never done recruitment or staffing of that kind. And she gave me 7 days to get 30 staff for the Grand National and for Ladies' Day, and I was actually on my own at that point. And I did it. I absolutely smashed it out. Loved every second of it. And I thought, I actually really enjoy this event side. It's stressful, but I don't know. I think we're all a bit weird in the events business because we kind of get stresses and challenges, but we thrive off it as well.
Yeah. So how was the start of 2020 shaping up for you then?
Before COVID, I mean, literally the beginning of the year was all about interviewing new staff. Seeing which staff had actually moved on, because some of them are at university and they might have moved back home or they might have got a permanent job. It was all about the interviewing side, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's about bringing on new staff, and then obviously everybody that works in the events and hospitality industry knows that the events sort of calmed down a little bit in January, February, so up until March, and then we start a season again. So we all know that. So that January, February, March was all about sales, sort of going out there, getting his name out there, and speaking to potential new clients, going out and just basically being us, really. And then it looked like it were going to be,
Oh,
and the projections were just going to be, it were going to be an unbelievable year. You know, we were looking to be set for literally possibly bringing on a new member of staff later on down the year, wasn't it? And now, wow, you know.
It's literally normally, if COVID wasn't happening now, we wouldn't. It's a Monday, so now it'd all be. We've got an administrator that works for us as well. Well, so works for us, works for CM Event Recruitment. She would be absolutely up to her eyes in it at the moment with all the timesheets, updating everything that gone over the weekend. We'd be looking at, Richie would be looking at what's happening next weekend, what needs to be filled, who needs to be followed up. If we need to do another round of interviews for potentially, because it's normally it'd be the York Ebor race, which is the 4-day races, which is, I think it's next weekend. So we'd be gearing up for that as well as gearing up for all the other events. And literally we would, it'd be very little sleep.
yeah, we won't get much sleep.
Yeah, very little sleep, a lot of running around. Whiteboards all over the office that were just absolutely rammed with all the different things.
More than likely been me a lot of fast food.
Yeah, and it just, it just been mental.
It would, but I think that everybody that does events and hospitality, they know how mental it can be, they know how difficult it can be, and I think if they get into it, they absolutely love it. And when I came into business last year in November, I fell in love with it, and I hit one of the busiest periods.
Straight in at the deep end.
Right, throw in deep end. Literally, you see the sink off with me, Richie. There's the boards, there's the stuff. Off you pop, enjoy yourself, take care. And quite literally, it was like every weekend there was like 4 or 5 events out with like 30, 40 staff at each one, and I was like, okay, right. So as you can tell, I've gone a little bit grey, but there's just a men for that in there, so it's fine.
We wouldn't be as brown either because we wouldn't have seen the sunshine.
No,
whereas we're seeing the sunshine now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we were set to have a fantastic year.
We'd be gearing up for Christmas as well now.
Yeah,
we'd be talking to people because we worked Christmas Day, didn't we?
Last year we worked
Christmas Day, Boxing Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. And a lot of people think, quite a few people said to us, didn't they? Oh, that's such a shame. But we looked at it and thought, what a massive compliment that is. That on such special occasions, these different clients want our staff. What a compliment. And do you know what? There was no traffic because we drove the staff, didn't we, on Christmas Day?
I loved it.
It was brilliant. We got them all little flashing badges, and we drove them. There was no traffic. One of the venue we went to gave us Christmas dinner, didn't they? Absolutely brilliant. Christmas a little bit further and then got to see our family a few days later. So that's normally we'd be starting to look at the summer, right? Okay, where we are, what we're looking at. I'd be looking at the forecast for the next 3 months.
I'd be looking at getting new staff members in, getting them interviewed, getting them trained up if they needed it. But obviously, when we do hospitality, we make sure they've got the experience anyway before we bring them in. So,
and the administrator would be making sure all the IDs were all up to date because we make sure we get everyone's ID, legal to work in the UK, all that sort of stuff. She'd be going through all that and potentially looking at any new paperwork that needs to be sorted because we have rules and regulations for the staff, don't we?
We do indeed.
So we'll be looking at, if anyone misbehaved, it's a case of, bit of reprimanding. If anyone's been late, we, pull them back in and, all that stuff sort of coming towards the end of the summer and gearing up for the next sort of few months.
So obviously, like many other businesses in our industry, when COVID hit on March the 16th, it was quite a trying time. So tell us about what happened with you, what happened with your clients, what happened on that day when you were told that you couldn't trade.
I was thinking, hopefully this is just going to be a short-term thing and it's just going to be one of those things that will just pass. Because we like to be positive, and obviously being positive is a good thing. You need to be positive about it, and we were kind of hoping that it wasn't going to be a big impact. But quite literally, the week before 16th of March, we were getting emails because a lot of our clients will send us full list of dates and how many people they want. So we were literally fully booked up until all sort of April, July time.
Sorry, it makes me cry.
And that first week, it was just email, cancel. I'm going to have to cancel. And all that week, and it was just quite literally on the boards, it was just red lines going through it, cancelled. Because Chrissy deals with some clients, I do with others, and every single one of them, it was just, we're going to have to cancel due to this. And it really, really like hit home that we were like, wow, we're effectively, as of the 16th of March, we were shut. You know, and it's a massive, massive impact. Because, you know, there's all those staff members that are sat there thinking, oh, I've got a shift on this date, and I've got these hours, brilliant, and then you're having to contact all them and explain to them what's gone on, why. And they're like, because a lot of our guys, they're all university and college students, so they depend on this time of year to sort of get them through the uni and whatnot. And they depend on this little bit of income that they've got coming in, and that's what they work on, because it's ad hoc. It's perfect for a lot of people, because it's quite literally they'll get a message saying, do you want to work tomorrow, or do you want to work next week? It's a 5-hour shift, and it's like, yeah, I'll work it, or no, I don't want to work it. You know, the choice is literally in their court. And to contact, I mean, almost every single member of staff had to be contacted just to say, sorry. Literally nothing.
Yeah, we do. New interviews as well.
New interviews,
had
to all contact and say, sorry, we can't
do anything.
Can't do anything. Literally 16th of March, we
shut the doors.
We shut the doors.
Not forever. We just
no, definitely not. No.
Oh my God, I'm not even a crier, and that just got to me then.
Cheers.
Sorry about that.
No. Because the thing is, it's real at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? This is real.
It's like I don't know if you've seen my videos, Paul. It's that whole thing of everybody like yourself and Chrissy, all these people that have gone out and they've set up on their own. They said, you know what, I want to do something different, and to be sort of 16th of March come and like literally you not your doors closed permanently, but your doors are shut for a temporary basis. You don't know how long your doors are going to be shut for. You're not in the driving seat anymore. Someone else is, and quite literally all that is it's really hard for, like, obviously everybody that runs their own business and works in their own business and manages their own business. It's really difficult for them.
I think when you're that sort of person as well, that's in the events industry, that's used to, you know, doing 10 things at once and having the different pressures, but buzzing off the pressure, and then it comes like that, and you're thinking, I'm not sure what to do now, and the government are telling you this, and then they're telling you that, and then you think everything's moving, and then it's not, and then the unsettled feeling is just, it's gut wrenching, it's soul destroying, because the event suppliers, the events industry, we're all doers, and we all find a way around things. You know, we're all like innovative, we're creative, we do all the things that, you know, makes us different. Because I mean, you've got to be different to work in this industry, because, you know, it's not a 9-to-5 job at all. It's literally your life, and you run your life around it. And to literally have the rug pulled, and to have the government just basically say, right, yeah, well, that's got to happen, and just coming across like it doesn't matter about us anymore. And you're thinking, well, it does, because that's what puts food on the table. We matter just as much as everybody else. And all the government's done is just say, I know there's COVID. I know some people will argue and say it's not the government's fault, it's COVID's fault. I agree to an extent. COVID is a shitty thing. It's disease, it's killing people, and that's serious. And something's got to be done about it. And I appreciate that more than anything. We both do, don't we?
100%.
But the way the government are doing things and treating people and doing that, as everybody says, one size fits all.
Yeah.
I blame them as well. I blame them massively. And, you know, to pull the rug on us like that, we're first gone, and we don't even know when we can come back. But on the headlines, it's saying, oh, the hospitality industry, 5% VAT. Not everybody. Oh, the hospitality industry, they're going to get these grants. Where are they? So the rest of the world that are not involved in the industry, they see the headlines and they think, brilliant. But when you read the small print and when you're involved in it, it's a bunch of shit. Sorry for swearing, but it is.
So we try not to post stuff from newspapers and articles and press, because generally we find that they get some of the facts wrong and it can be misleading. And people don't really understand, and they see news articles and they kind of believe what's been said. Yay, everything's open, so that must be great, but that's only a very minor percentage of what is going on. It's a very long process, and we were one of the first ones to close down in the industry. It's going to be a long time before our industry is fully back open. And people need to be educated about that. They just think because the hotels are open, because there's outdoor festivals starting to happen, that it's all starting back. And that's not the case. There's even great things like last Tuesday's parade for the We Make Events Happen, which gets it out there in the news. But really, people don't have a better understanding of what we're all about. So, people have been giving you a lot of shit for this article that we're going to be discussing. And all the stuff that you've had to go through. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Did you understand? And we've both said before, there's a lot of small businesses that have had problems. There's a lot of small businesses such as the beauty industry. They were all set to open the rest of the part of their industry on the 1st of August, and the rug was pulled again. So they're open on the 15th.
Yeah.
Now they've got to rebuild. And I understand that, but they can open the hospitality industry with restrictions.
Yeah.
But it's like you've said loads of times, it thrives on volume.
Mm.
If a hotel's open, one of the hotels, said to us that they're only working on 9% or 10%.
They've been able to bring staff at 9%. That's it. That's maximum they can do it. And quite literally, I'd say probably about 90% of the hotel's empty. The whole industry thrive on volume of people. So, for the government to open any part of it up with restrictions in place, absolutely ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous. The fact that they expect us just basically just do it and we'll be fine. It's an absolute load of rubbish. Because I'll give you an example. One of our clients, if they allow 50,000 people at their event and they're restricted down to 10,000 people. Well, it sounds kind of selfish, but they're not going to need any of our staff. They've got their own, so they're not going to use us whatsoever.
And they're not going to need all the merchandise.
They're not going to need all the merchandise. They're not going to need people that work. You've got like the burger vans that go on these sites as well that pay for that pitch.
Yeah.
So they're not going to need them. So it's like, well, you're putting them out of work. You're putting them out of business too.
But it's all right because it's open again.
Yeah, but we're not open again. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
If we were open again, you'd see concerts happening. You'd see stuff happening. A lot of people that we've spoken to in the events and hospitality industry said they've written off this year entirely.
Yeah, so as we've seen, there have been some events starting to happen, but not for the whole industry. Some outdoor events and now allowing some indoor events. But as we've seen, they're not really financially viable. Tickets are not being sold, or the people aren't getting that interest. They're still worried about what could happen if they went to an event. But also the business themselves that are trying to do that have got to make it economically viable for them. So that means that there's not as much opportunity for suppliers and people. Doesn't you find that makes that a difficult situation?
One of our clients, we have 10 staff out every week. Every weekend, we have 10 staff out. Now, that's fine, but if they only need one member of staff, we go back into the office. We've still got to pay all the things out as normal. And to be honest with you, and that's slightly on the side, but all the business bills haven't changed.
No.
Still having to pay rent for the office, still having to pay everything out. So all the business bills haven't changed at all. So, if we said, right, okay, furlough ends, whatever, we'll go back into the office and we'll continue to work. If them numbers have dropped, it's not sustainable. So how can we have me and Richie and our administrator, how can we have them and how can we keep all the staff? Because if the numbers have dropped like that, the money's not going to come in to sustain that. How's that going to work?
Yeah, and a lot of businesses will more likely be in the same situation where they've got premises and they've got stuff on the premises that they've had to pay for, and because the war, like Chris has said, from 16th of March all the way to now, we've been still at the office. Things haven't changed one bit. They're still paying out the same amount of money. So, I'm going to bring up these grants that were given out at the beginning. Everybody seems to think that these grants are a problem solver to every business. Not the case at all, because if a business is paying out £6,000 a month in their office bills or their business bills, and they're able to reduce their bills down from 6,000 to 3,000, and they've only been given 10 grand, that only gives them 3 months. It's, do you know what I mean? Everybody just seems to think that these grants and the bounce back loans, a business isn't making money. So let's give them a loan. So let's put their business in debt straight away, so that the next year when they're up and running, they can start paying it back. Well,
the business, see, same event recruitment doesn't owe anybody anything.
No.
So why would you say, right, all right,
let's put it in debt.
Let's put the business in debt.
Yeah.
And let's take a chance that it starts getting, we start paying it next year, and we know it's great that there's a lower rate. We know it's great, all that sort of stuff. But the way things are going, as far as we're concerned, we've been told by all our clients that we better enjoy our rest now, because next year the order book is slammed. And that's fantastic, and we're buzzing about that, aren't we?
100%, yeah, can't wait. Yeah. And we're hoping that everybody else in the events industry get exactly the same way.
But that's not 100% there.
No.
So if we go, right, brilliant, off the back of that, because we're all organised and all our clients are organised, off the back of that, we'll go and get a bounce back loan. Brilliant. And then the rug gets pulled again. We're not only left in a situation as we are now, we're also left in a situation with a loan on top.
Yeah.
So, you can't. It's the unsettlement. It's the unpredictability of it. And you're thinking, if we knew it'd be all right, then you'd go, brilliant. This loan, what a fantastic idea. Let's get it. Not ideal, but we know that we're going to be doing triple the amount of business next year. So you know what, it'll be all right. But you don't know.
And we know things aren't guaranteed with that type of thing anyway in business. Nothing's guaranteed. Everybody knows that. But it's within our power.
Yeah.
And just like everyone else in the industry and everywhere else, it was within their power to do it, to keep their business going. It's not within our power at the moment. We're not in control of it. Someone else is telling us what to do. Someone else is telling us to stay closed. We're not doing it. We'd love to go back to work tomorrow, just like everybody else. We'd love to get busy again. We'd love that, but we're not allowed. That it's not like everybody just seems to think this is the events industry on the whole is just basically taking a break. Everybody in the events industry has been told, you are going to close and we are not going to give you a date of when you can reopen, because there's a disease going about, and quite literally it's basically you shut, and for the moment you're going to have to deal with it. But we're going to give this support at the very beginning, and then we're going to remove it in October. And then not only that, but there's like the self-employed people that have not the self-employed people that have not got much support. The business owners, the limited companies that haven't got much support. There's all them people that haven't got any support whatsoever, that have literally been struggling to keep their business afloat and keep their name afloat. And it's for them that we're trying to fight for as well. It's not just us. It's for everybody else. We want the whole industry's been forgotten about, and it can't be forgotten about. You can't turn around and say you're shut and then expect them to carry on without no help whatsoever. You're shut. You can't bring any money in, but we're gonna expect you to start paying this at this point and start paying this at this point. But you've got no money coming in, but you need to pay something. Okay, well hang on then, because my money trees needs a bit of water out back, so I'm just gonna go water it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And there's such one of the things that they can do, which won't even cost the government money, which I've been banging on about. We've both been banging on about. So this month we've got 200 odd staff that are casual staff. Yeah. So we decided that actually, do you know what? We're going to furlough them, because without the staff, we can't do what we do. So we've got a massive amount of respect for them, and they have for us. So it was a case of, right, I know it's a lot of paperwork, a lot of messing about, because they're on casual contracts, got to have, we never had it so much in our life, right? Working it all out. Working it all out, let's get them on furlough, let's get as many staff as we can on furlough. So that's what we did.
Yeah.
And each time it's paid and paid and paid. Now, obviously this month, the national insurance and the pensions need to be paid. Yeah. So it was like, right, okay, there's a bit there, so we can do that. I can, work on that, we can do that. But come next month, when it drops to 70%, and you've got to pay the national insurance and you've got to pay the pension, I can't do it. We can't do it. We can't physically do it. Now, the government are making it mandatory for that to be done. What's the problem with them just not making it mandatory? Because they're making it mandatory to to top up September and to top up October, which obviously drops down to 60, if you cannot top it up, you have to make people redundant. If you make people redundant, and I know it's after 2 years, but some staff have been with us for that length of time, if you make them redundant, you have to pay them redundancy. If you can't pay them redundancy, then your company needs to go insolvent so they can get the redundancy off the government. How can you top anything up when they shut you down, when you can't do anything? So that even at a very small amount of them not making it mandatory would actually help just a little bit, and it doesn't cost them any money, because all that's going to happen is we go, right, okay, all these staff, they're all coming off, I've got to make them redundant, can't afford redundancy, not making the company insolvent because it's a viable business. They're all going to go and sign on. So isn't that more pressure on the government for them to go and sign on and collect benefits than just to make the September and October 70% and 60% and the top up's not mandatory? And then what happens in November when there's nothing? How's the company supposed to do anything?
And that'll be why the percentage of redundancies for this month will more than likely go up.
Yeah.
Because a business that's been shut, and this is across the board, has been bringing no money in, can't physically top up that money in September and October, can't physically pay the national insurance or pension this month. So they're having to make people redundant and basically possibly close the business down forever.
Yeah.
Whereas
good
exactly,
people
and good businesses are shutting because of it. Instead of him just, they could have just left it and made it not mandatory, so that then the businesses had that little bit of extra to say, do you know what, we can keep you on for another 2 months. We'll have to look at it again in October and see where restrictions are.
Yeah.
But
to make it mandatory, that's such a stab in the back.
It's literally, businesses are shut, but do you know what? We still want you to pay out money that you have not got. And
it's
again,
basically.
I'm not sitting here blaming the government for everything. I really am, because, like I said at the very beginning, the support that they gave to a lot of people was unprecedented. It was fantastic. It was great, but they've let people slip through the gaps. They've let businesses slip through the gaps, and now it just seems to be basically, well, do you know what? We need to get the economy moving. So at whatever cost, if that means 1,000 businesses shut, hundreds of thousands of people go out of work, never mind. As long as the economy's moving, that's fine. But these people that work in these industries help the economy, bring in the money for the economy.
So basically, it puts businesses in our industry into an impossible situation. The government's not doing as much as it could, but they want to get things moving along. Yet our industry is still, struggling, and it raises billions and billions for our country and the UK. Yet they're kind of sweeping us under the carpet. There's venues going bump. But they're trying to put the grants out, but those venues are not going to get money until October, which means anything could happen in the next 2 months. These venues could go. So we feel that the government are missing the point. You're trying to get a message across about what's happening, the situation that's happening right now. That's what happens. So why did you decide to kind of start pushing your message out? How did it work? Did the Times newspaper approach you?
When I first started realising that, I read it about it being mandatory, didn't I, for furlough? And I just said, this can't happen, this. I thought that, we'd have a little bit more time to work things out. Maybe the industry, the government might change something, restrictions.
We actually thought that when it came to sort of September and October, the furlough would just basically drop and that would be it.
Yeah, it would be mandatory.
Yeah.
So Richie was doing his videos and people didn't seem to understand. Well, Richie, didn't you get the grant then? Well, that's got nothing to do with it. Like he's just explained, it just keeps the lights on for a very short period of time. So I did a really big sort of, if a business hasn't got money, how can it top up furlough? And just the things that we were saying before, the furlough redundancy and viable business, why would it close? And I put it up on Facebook. And you shared it as well, and you talked about it in your video. And it was actually the Times that contacted us and said, they'd like to have a conversation with us. So you were actually upstairs doing your rant, weren't you?
I would do the video,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I was explaining in regards to what, the whole industry and the furlough situation. And obviously he asked me about the business, and I explained to him, I said, look, we actually have a sleeping director. We have a director that just sort of is in the background, doesn't actually do anything, but because I'm so hands-on in the business, basically, I'm literally running the whole thing. He doesn't do anything, the director. He does nothing at all, apart from, sign things off for us. I was literally running at 100 mile an hour with the business, and he went, look, do you know what? I'll take it on, that's fine. You came into the business
as an operations
manager.
So my job is to make sure all the clients are happy. My job is to make sure all the staff are happy. Get new staff and do the sales as well. That's my job.
And literally, this person is director in name. That's it. I do everything. I do all the finances. I do absolutely everything. And I explained that. I said, myself and Richie, we work in the business. We've got a lady that's an administrator. We've got a sleeping director. And the issue that we've got is because I run the business from start to finish and Richie looks after events, this is the problem we've got with furlough, and explain exactly what we've done.
Basically explained about the events industry being ignored.
Yeah.
Forgotten about.
He's come back and said, directors of, CM event recruitment, and it's like, well, we're not directors.
No.
I said from the beginning that we're not directors.
No. And
then started discussing how I live off dividends. Now, there's no problem with people with dividends. There's no issue with that. But that's not what I said. I didn't say anything about, why would I say anything about dividends when I've already explained that we have a sleeping director? And it was a case of, well, what have you done all that for? Why have you said all the stuff that he was saying was nothing that I'd actually said? And because of that, and again, I've got no issue with dividends because I've got a small side business called CM Office Recruitment. And basically, I am the director of that one. No issues with dividends, no issues with that. I mean, that's closed as well at the moment.
Yeah.
But we got so much abuse. We were called fat cat scumbags. We were told that we don't deserve any support. That dividends is ripping off the taxpayer, tax dodgers. We were absolutely inundated with abuse, weren't we? Yeah. And because obviously the business name is on there, we also got phone calls, voicemails, we got things going onto the Facebook page. We were absolutely ripped apart, weren't we? And the thing is, I don't have an issue with the director and dividend thing, but when you haven't said it, you can't defend it. If they'd have said, oh, furlough, this, that and the other, and I've said it, and we could defend it then, but we couldn't. And we kept putting messages up saying, this isn't what we said, this isn't what we said. I contacted the guy that actually did the report, and he went, well, I don't see what the problem is, what are you campaigning for then?
And quite literally, they were campaigning for the events and hospitality industry to have a voice.
Yeah. I mean, they came out and took a picture, and they said, oh, the Times photographer were all excited, thinking, brilliant, the voice for the event industry.
Finally got somewhere with it, we finally get his point across, and then read the article, and wow.
And spent the whole day getting abused.
Spent the whole day getting abused.
It's still not changed it.
Still not changed it.
I phoned the Times 4 times, I've emailed the Times and said, that is not what I've said. Because the thing is, it makes us look like liars. Because if somebody went onto Company's House, they will see that we're not directors. So somebody did actually go onto Company's House and say, you two are directors, you're just trying to scam money. We didn't say we were. We didn't say that at all. And it just, it ripped us apart, didn't it? It absolutely, not us, but, the abuse that we got was, it's appalling, because even if we were directors and we did work on dividends, what's the problem with that anyway? But it was the fact that it was said, and we got abused for something that wasn't said.
So you're obviously getting a lot of abuse from this article, unfortunately, which you didn't rightly deserve. But when did it start? Did it all start from that morning when that article went live on the Sunday?
On that Sunday, it was literally from the moment we woke up. It was just non-stop. It was awful. And we were sat there. We sort of kind of closed the curtains and locked the doors, and it were like we've tried to do something decent. We've tried to get a voice out there, because me and Chris have been sat here trying to figure out what can we do, because we can't just sit idly by and we're not them people. We can't sit idly by and let something disappear without fighting for it first. You know what I mean? And quite literally, we just shut the curtain, locked the doors, and thought, what, we've tried to do something decent, and look at where it's got us. We've got nothing but stick, got nothing but abuse for being just trying to get people's voices heard.
And I think the thing is, when you go in the newspaper, you know that someone's going to give you crap. You know they are. You know that you're going to get abused. And we actually said, because the picture, it's quite funny, the picture that he took, in our back garden, we've got a big white wall. And it was beautiful sunshine. So I'm actually looking at the wall. You're sat behind, aren't you? I'm actually looking at the wall and I'm doing this and squinting. And he's took the picture of me doing that as if I'm really angry. And you think, well, all right, fair enough. But we expected abuse. Someone saying, look at the state of her hair, or, look at the state of the garden. Or, we expected that, because that's what people are like.
If the article had been written what we'd said, and we'd have got some stick off it, then we could sort of say, do you know what? All right, fair enough. But the fact is, we got stick for an article that we didn't say. We 100% did not say it. We didn't say anything about dividends. We didn't say nothing about directors. We didn't say. I mean, the article was literally all about dividends and directors.
Yeah, and I explained that to you ago. That has nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with the events.
About the event recruitment, and that's not what was said. It was about the industry. But it was horrendous. Sunday last week was awful, and we actually set up a group called Events United right at the very beginning, because we know that from us, people in the industry sort of, you felt like your businesses were crumbling in front of you and you couldn't do anything. So mental health wise, we were thinking, oh my God, there must be other people. We knew our clients, and and between the two of us, we set a group up, didn't we?
Yeah.
And just the moral support, trying to just keep people on the up. And if someone said, I'm not doing too good today, it'd be right, give us a call. We've always been the upbeat people. Give us a call no matter how we felt. Are you okay? Is there anything we can do? All this sort of stuff. And we've been shouting and shouting since then, haven't we? And so the first time someone said, actually, do you know what? The Times newspaper, we're going to come and see you. We're going to take your photograph. Let's get your story out there. And that's what we get. Yeah. And we were gutted, weren't we? We were absolutely gutted. Yeah.
So putting that article aside, it's happened. It's they've not done you justice. What we want people to do, we want our members to do, is share this video. We want to get the message out for Richie and Chrissy that what they're doing, their fantastic work. They're trying to put a positive message out there, trying to say, look, everyone, this is a situation in. Come and help us. Come and support us. And that message needs to be heard. So we want you to share this video, get it out. We want it to go out on social media now. I know they've been getting stick on social media, but hopefully this will change people's opinion. The paper did not do them justice. And look, I really commend both of you for what you've been doing. I do feel that you've had a hard time and got done over on this.
Massively. And I think, we work hard. We've got great staff. We're good people. We've got, CM Event, I keep saying, our business, because it's run by us anyway. I run it, well, we're all in it. We're all in it together. We all have our own ways of doing things. We all run different parts of the business, don't we? So, it's our baby at the end of the day. And, the business is fantastic. We've got a great business. We've got fantastic clients.
Not just that, but we don't. But also we give a damn about our staff as well.
Yeah.
We genuinely care about them. We don't want them to be out of work. We don't want them to be having to go start again or anything like that. I mean, the whole industry, we just need that little bit. Give us a little bit of support. Give us that little leg up just to keep us going. And then if you want to let go of the reins next year and let us go crack on, then leave us to it. That's fine. But don't cut us off and tie us up and stop us from doing it. They're not giving us a fighting chance. They're not giving us a fighting chance. They're suffocating us and they're not giving us all the fighting chance to rebuild, to start again. They're basically saying, well, you know, as of October, you're all done, simple as, end of. And they're not even coming out with any idea, but they'll come out with grants for new computers or
£50 vouchers for bikes.
£50 vouchers for bikes. But yet, like, obviously the restaurant chains and all that, they can do the help out, eat out to help out or whatever it's called. You know, come on, we're here as well, you know. We might be in backgrounds, we might be in shadows, we're in the shadows, we make it look seamless, but we're still there, you know. We're living, breathing human beings. Give us that little bit of help, come on.
Yeah, and I think the thing is with the venues, you know, we've said before that, you know, there's a handful or so many venues that people have gone, oh yay, they're going to be fixed. Some of them are still going to be Nightingale Hospital till March next year anyway.
Yeah. Which
is fantastic because the support's there. But the people that supply the Nightingale Hospital need some support too, financially. But also, it's great sort of them saying so many different venues will get so much support, and I know they've forgotten a lot of them. But it's great having a venue. But how can you have a venue when you've not got the event suppliers that make the actual event happen? You've just got an empty building. What about the people that put the lights up? What about, you know, people like yourself? What about, you know, the stage builders,
the drivers,
the transport,
the cleaners, the clearers, the first aiders, all them. Everybody that's in the background that you don't see, that basically make your night that little bit more special, you know. And you literally just throwing them to the wolves and saying, "Good luck, enjoy yourself, and try and get yourself back up." And no, it's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
On that note, I think that's a great message to end on. Again, people need to understand the situation. They're not educated enough in that they think because of what they're seeing in the press that everything's fine. And it means our industry is actually getting ignored because they're glossing over it. I think you're doing a fantastic job. I commend you in what you're doing with the Facebook group that you set up, with getting the videos out there, or the message. And I'm glad that article has not put you off on what you've done. So I'm going to say yet again to all our members, please, please, please share out this video. Let's set the record straight for Richie and Chrissy. And, you know, get it out there. Make sure people know the great work that they're doing and the fact that our industry as a whole is basically suffering. So thank you so much, Chrissy and Richard, for being involved in this and taking the time out to be interviewed. So thank you again.
Thank you very much.
Paul.
Thank you very much.
All right, take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.